Hello, Danvers. My name is Jasmine Ramon, the Director of Equity and Inclusion for the town, and I'm here to recap our summer series, Let's Talk About Race, that we've been having every Thursday over at the library. So this past week, week 3, we talked about microaggressions, and I'm happy to be joined by Christi Farrar, who is a former Board of Trustees for the library member and chair of our Danvers Accessibility Commission, as well as Lauren Ferrari, who's also a member of our Accessibility Commission. And so I was fortunate to have them in attendance this past week. Can either of you just share a little bit about what you talked about in your groups about microaggressions?
Sure. Our group was good, and we just talked about what microaggressions are. Some of the ones maybe we've heard, or no one could really come up with specific ones that they themselves had done. But we also talked about if we're in public now and someone, how do you confront someone, or how do you educate someone that maybe what was said was not appropriate.
Sure.
Yeah, our group, actually we did have a few examples and basically came to the conclusion that we've all committed microaggressions and that it's something that you need to learn from and grow from. And then what really matters too is also what you do in the moment. And then again, we talked about how to disrupt microaggressions. My favorite example was, what do you mean by that? Or tell me more, and how to have that conversation with other people in your life.
I love that. I think the biggest thing I took away was that reminder that microaggressions are actually macro. When I think about the moments that I've experienced feeling othered or like I don't belong as a woman of color in Danvers, I'm often left with that impression of, well, now I'm going to be thinking about this all day, and the person who, committed that or caused me harm, they're probably not thinking about it at all. So it really means a lot to hear, like, in the different groups, how you're learning what they are and how you're talking about who committed them. And I really, even from my group and from other groups, I was appreciative of hearing the level of vulnerability that people brought to the conversations. And the two of you have been coming week after week, and so I'm curious about that experience. What keeps you coming back? Do you have a favorite session?
I think last week was my favorite session. Just in the particular group, people were very, very vulnerable and really talked about some things that they wouldn't normally have shared. So, and it was good to hear that some of the things that I'd been afraid to talk about, this is really why I like the group. I've been looking for something like this to be able to sit with people and talk about race and all these different things. So it really was a good session last week for me.
Yeah. I can't say that I have a favorite week. I think every conversation has been really valuable in that we are meeting new people, having, again, vulnerable conversations, learning from them, and because I've learned a lot from my friends and neighbors and over the last few weeks, and I'm looking forward to the future sessions.
Wonderful. Anything else you'd want folks to know about this opportunity?
It's absolutely amazing. You need to come in, be ready to be vulnerable and to do some work, but I think it is a great way for all of us as a community to start moving forward to a more inclusive Danvers.
Yep, I agree. I think, as Christi said, I've learned a lot just from talking to other people, and I think that's the biggest thing. If people could attend this, there is a lot of education that I think is valuable to anyone, even if you think you're doing the right thing. It's valuable to hear other people's opinions.
Well, thank you both so much for your continued support, especially as members of the newly recommissioned Danvers Accessibility Commission, which I encourage Danvers folks to check out. It's really great to see you taking the intersections of social identity seriously and just even supporting me in my role, so thank you.
Absolutely.
So Danvers, we are about halfway through this summer series, so there's still time to come out and join us. So we will be back at it on Thursday from 5:15 to 6:45 in the standing room on the first floor of the library. The snacks are still there, and community is waiting for you to engage, so come by, bring a friend, and make a new friend.